Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It is your girl here, the Venusian Bull, and I am back with another video in the Planets in the Houses series. And in this video, we are going to be discussing Pluto in the fifth house. So yes, we're at the end of the fifth house. And just as a recap, once again, the fifth house deals with dating, gambling or games, creativity, children, casual sex, expressing oneself, inspiration, sports, entertainment, entertainer, celebrity, admiration, compliments, and the eternal child. Okay? So, with Pluto in the fifth house, obviously we know that the fifth house energy in general can be kind of like surface level and it's very exuberant, it's very happy. So, Pluto in the fifth house, it darkens that energy a little bit and makes it a little bit deeper, less shallow. So this is somebody who's constantly evolving and transforming as it pertains to their self expression. So they are definitely going to be people who go through different phases of their lives, expressing themselves in different ways because it's about transforming, it's about out with the old and in with the new. They may have a new approach to relationships, a new approach to dealing with children and things like that. When it comes to how a Pluto in the fifth house person would deal with their children, they're very protective of their children, and they are about teaching their children about, kind of what to keep them to themselves. So not necessarily suppressing your creativity like a Saturn in the fifth house would, but more like what you need to just keep for you and what you are able to give to the world and things like that. This is a very passionate person. So these people are very passionate about their self-expression and their creative pursuits. They're very self-motivated, but they do get help from others because Pluto does represent getting help from others. But yeah, but they can be great, like motivational speakers, just like Mars in the fifth. And when it comes to celebrity and like entertainer and things like that, this is somebody who could achieve a lot of prominence in life from what they do creatively and how they express themselves. And Pluto energy, wherever Pluto is, it's like it's always an area where you don't really have to try to be prominent or have this prestige. You just do, and people kind of see this dark aura around you where they're either like intrigued by your mysteriousness or they're turned off. So just know that people are either going to love you or hate you. And since the fifth house is such a fun loving house and everything like that, you got to keep that in mind that that may not always be the case. But usually Pluto in the fifth, they don't really care. They just want you to acknowledge that they're growing and they're transforming. That's how you give them compliments. That's how you feed like their ego, because like they don't want to always be viewed as the same person and looking at things from the same perspective. They want to change and they want people to be able to, acknowledge that. Now, as for dating, Pluto in the fifth is not really the best place for casual dating because, Pluto energy is like very intense and very deep. So it may be kind of difficult for you to actually casually date because you want to have those deep connections with people. So, but since it's Pluto energy, it's easy for you to, keep your guard up and things of that nature. But it's going to be difficult for you to casually date. Like I'm just gonna be honest. That's gonna be kind of hard. And as far as children is concerned, sometimes we gotta take a walk on the dark side with some of these planets because it is what it is. Pluto, like, literally has to deal with death. It does rule Scorpio, so it does have to deal with death. So when it comes to children, this could be, an unfortunate death of a child and things like that. It could be like with Saturn in the fifth, a stillborn or something like that. But since Pluto doesn't necessarily have to deal with, karma, it could be more like a curse or like generational type of curses and things like that. um, you could like always, if you're a woman, you can get pregnant, but you're never able to like hold a child, carry a child to term or something of that nature. So I apologize for bringing it dark, but you know, unfortunately, the fifth house has to deal with children and Pluto has to deal with death. So have to kind of put it out there. But in terms of like kind of games and the athleticism, this is somebody who's definitely very into their fitness and their athletic prowess. They are very energetic, but in a more intense way, not necessarily like a very like fun, like, oh, I want to join in. They're like intense, like, oh yes, we're gonna run this 10K and we're gonna do it and we're gonna do it good. Like it's just gonna be very all about the strength that can be built, not necessarily about the fun, but that's fun for Pluto in the fifth house. Understand, this is the thing to remember about the fifth house. As different as the planets are, it's all about where you find fun and entertainment, but what's fun for one planet is not necessarily going to be fun for the other planet. So a Pluto in the fifth house person can have fun jogging around a graveyard. That may not be something that everybody wants to do, but in the dark, and they may get like a rush out of that and feel like alive, and things of that nature. So when it comes to like their physical, activity and stuff like that. So, like they with their children, they may be about like kind of doing, rituals with their children, and not like I don't mean to say this in a negative way or like ooh spooky. We are approaching Halloween a little soon, so some of y'all may have Pluto going through your fifth house. Well, at any time of year really, but Scorpio is Pluto energy. But you may do like rituals, you may explain certain, traditions, and obviously Plutonic energy can be very mystical and esoteric, just like Neptune, but Neptune keeps it more on the idealistic side a little bit, and a little bit more of the hopeful side, and Pluto can just be very like tell it like it is and things like that. Plutonic energy is very connected to the dead, and things like that. So that may be something that is fun for you, to be able to connect with spirits and the dead and things like that. Especially if it was like possibly, a child that unfortunately, died as a stillbirth or as a young child, or you're like still able to connect with them on this like spiritual level, and um that gives you like vitality in some type of way. Pluto, like the things that uplift a plutonic person, they may seem odd, but it's like darkness brings out their personality. It brings out their creativity. Trauma, it brings out their personality. It brings out their creativity. Like they may go through all of this and then decide that they want to be, a therapist, and things like that. Like they want to help people, and that's their way of being able to express themselves by, talking through someone else's feelings and things like that. Plutonic energy is all about research and investigative type of work. So that's another way that they can express something, and maybe they may have dealt with a lot of death and a lot of trauma in their lives, and helping people to find, to solve crimes and to find, who may have killed their family member, may be something that is reassuring for them, and not particularly fun per se, but just something that gives them like pride. And the fifth house does have to deal with pride. Like, I'm the one that helped them get there. I'm the one who figured this out. I'm the one who found this evidence. That's what I want recognition in. I'm the one who was able to help you heal. I'm the one who was able to help you get over your trauma. Like, acknowledge a Pluto in the fifth house for being able to help you get through your trauma and the difficult times in your life. So it's kind of like a dark cloud hanging over the fifth house when Pluto is there, but plutonic energy is always able to get out on the other side. It's all about turning trauma or darkness into light, or trauma into something that can be helpful to others, because it's all about transforming and evolution and things like that. It's not about staying the same. It's about improving yourself by going through kind of like the most difficult times that you could go through, and transforming yourself. Like, transformation is like a form of creativity. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I creatively transform myself? And it can be on a more lighter note too. Like, I'm transforming myself in terms of like my music, or in terms of my appearance, like drastically transforming myself so people can see a different me, you know? So, yeah, so in a nutshell, that's what I got for Pluto in the fifth house. I hope that you enjoyed these videos. Hopefully the next series, Pluto in the planets in the sixth house, it won't take me that long to get these out, but y'all know how I do. Y'all know I'm slow. So yeah, so in conclusion, again, put your comments and your feedback down below. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.